everyone, I'm Literary Freak 11, and today I have a wall of boxes instead of a wall of books because I am moving today. But I did want to announce my participation in the Disney read-a-thon. I decided not to do the newts because I felt like the prompts were too general and uninspiring personally. Like, I like prompts where you have to guess stuff about the book, and if you're not right, like, I still count that as the prompt. It still counts because I read it for that prompt and I was wrong. It happens. So I didn't really like that the prompts were read a book over 500 pages, read a book over 350 pages, read a manga. Like, they just seemed too general to me. But I also wanted a smaller read-a-thon. I did 2 read-a-thons last month, and I wanted something that I didn't feel like I needed to participate as much. I also really like competitive read-a-thons. I realized after the Book Junkie trials that I like them so much more than, just plain old read-a-thons. And so this one felt very non-committal to me, which was something that I really liked about it. So I am Team Lion King, and I picked it, based on the prompts, and let you know what I'm doing for which prompts. The first is to pick a book with a male protagonist, and so I have picked Give Me a Break by John Stossel, and this is basically a book about how he kind of became this hard-hitting journalist, but then he ended up kind of not doing stories that people wanted him to do, and so he ended up becoming a scourge of the liberal media, as it says on the cover. And so it's interesting to see that, when you do hard-hitting journalism, but not the way that they want you to do it, kind of what happens. And so he writes about himself. He is a male protagonist. So I've picked this book. The next prompt is to pick a book featuring war and politics. And if you've kept up with the Dresden Files at all, you know that there is a war going on with the Red Court. They also have some internal problems with traitors and stuff like that. So there is definitely war and politics in this book, and my goal is to read one of these each month up until the release of the 16th book in the series, Peace Talk. The next prompt is to read an adult romance, so I kind of just picked a book that was adult that had romance, so I'm going to be reading Again But Better by Christine Riccio, and that is on hold at the library. Hopefully will get to me this month, and if it doesn't, I do have Pumbaa's powers to switch out books from my TBR, so if that doesn't work out, I will be able to just switch it out for a different book. The next prompt is to read a book in a day. And so I've picked Sealed by Naomi Booth, and this is about a disease where people's mouths, nose, ears, eyes, holes are being covered by skin. And so this woman is pregnant and she's trying to kind of struggle through this world. This is a 170-page book, and there's not that much text to each page, and I was reading about 160 pages for the Book Junkie trials, and so I think that this won't be too hard to finish in a day. And finally, the group book for the Lion King team is Dante and Aristotle, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. And I really liked this book upon my first read, and for some reason when I reread it, I thought it was kind of dry, kind of boring, and I think it was because I read it when writing about, gay relationships in literature was much more avant-garde than it is now, and so I think that the shock factor was really what drew me in, and there are bits that are absolutely beautiful. However, overall, the reread just didn't hold up for me, and so I'm not excited to reread it again, but, maybe my opinion will come 360 degrees, so we'll see. It's about two boys, Dante and Aristotle, and they become friends, and then Dante moves away, and it's kind of about their relationship and also their relationships with their families. It is a very genuine book, and we can do other teams prompts, but I think we have to go in order. So either, I guess I could do one of each. I could do like Rapunzel, Aladdin, Mulan, and then keep circling, but I think I'm just gonna go through the Team Mulan prompts because of what I have to read. So the first book is a female protagonist, and so I've picked Little Fires Everywhere. It seems that most of the main characters are female from like the 10 pages that I've read. This book has like 50 bajillion holds on my library, so I may actually end up finishing it earlier than some of the other prompts. But basically this is about when we start the story, the house of the Richardsons has burned down, and they think that the youngest sister in a family of 4 siblings did it. And so it's also about, I guess it's about the year leading up to that, and their tenants in a place that they rent out, who are an artist and her teenage daughter. And so I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm very excited to read it. The next book is a book that features a squad, and so I feel like just based on the cover of Orange, this book squad, if I decide to do Rapunzel, I might use this for a book with glowing reviews because no one has ever said anything bad about it. I actually got this because I thought I was going to participate in the Newts, and I needed a manga to read. And so basically this is a book about a girl who gets a note from her future self that tells her that she needs to help this guy prevent him from committing suicide. So I think it's dark, but also, you know, very good. And so that's what I'm going to be reading for that. The next prompt is to read a young adult romance. For this, I'm going to be reading Don't Date Maria Santos, I think. And this is a book about a girl who is kind of considered a bad luck charm, so no one wants to date her because of this. And so it's kind of about her finding love. So I think it'll be like a cute summer contemporary. The next book is to read a book that is 500 pages or more. And so for this, I'm going to be reading The Lies of Locke, Lamora, and I'm going to be listening to this on audiobook, but it is a 700-page book, and it's a 22-hour audiobook. So honestly, I'm going to be listening to it underneath all of everything that's going on, and I'll probably be listening to it at 1.5 times speed, so it won't take me 22 hours, but it will take me a good portion of the month. So then there's another book that I want to read that I feel like doesn't fit any of the prompts, and that is Fantasyland, How America Went Haywire, a 500-year history. And this book I was actually talked about, like referenced in one of my classes, and so I think that it seems like an interesting concept. I don't remember a lot about it, but I'll let you know after I read it. And somehow I'm going to figure out how to fit that into one of the prompts. I'm not there yet. I'll let you know. And I probably will listen to The Crown's Fate. I listened to The Crown's Game, and literally it took me 2 days because I was listening to it on 2 times speed, and I was so absolutely addicted to it. And so I want to move on with this series, and so I'll probably also be listening to that. And there's definitely a prompt for, royalty. I think Jasmine's, for the Jasmine team, the first prompt is a book that features royalty, so I will definitely be using The Crown's Fate to fulfill that prompt. That's all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter, where I guess I'll be posting updates and participating in the read-a-thon that way.